Welcome, fellow explorers of insight, to the deep dive. Today we're unspooling the extraordinary narrative of a name that, well, instantly conjures images of ingenious booby traps, a certain iconic scream, and a special kind of holiday magic. We are, of course, talking about Macaulay Culkin.
It's a name that's just been etched into pop culture, hasn't it, for decades. But as we're about to discover, I think, his journey extends far, far beyond that singular, unforgettable child role. It's a life that really defies simple labels, marked by intense highs, deliberate retreats, and ultimately a pretty profound reinvention.
Absolutely. So our mission today, as we sort of journey through the fascinating tapestry of the provided source material, is really to unpack the multifaceted layers of Macaulay Culkin's life and career. We'll trace his path from, a globally recognized child star to a period of thoughtful seclusion, and then his emergence as a critically acclaimed adult actor and, an undeniable creative force.
Yeah, we're not just exploring the what are we, it's more about the deeper why. Why? Those pivotal choices. What does his unique trajectory reveal about, say, the enduring pressures of fame, the complexities of family, and I guess the ultimate power of self-defined reinvention?
Exactly. Prepare for a truly surprising and insightful exploration, because there's far more to Macaulay Culkin than meets the eye. Let's begin in the very genesis, because the earliest chapters of a star's life often hold the most compelling clues, right, to their future. Macaulay Carson Culkin was born on August 26, 1980, right in the heart of Manhattan, New York City. Now, here's a detail I found particularly intriguing.
Oh, yeah.
He was named after the eminent British historian Thomas Babington Macaulay. It gives you a little pause, doesn't it? This isn't just a randomly chosen name. It sort of hints at a certain intellectual weight, maybe, or aspiration that perhaps informed his parents' choices. It's quite a grand moniker for someone destined to become such a massive pop culture icon.
It creates an immediate contrast, doesn't it? You have this, weighty historical name, and then the persona that just exploded onto the screen was one of pure, unadulterated, youthful mischief.
Totally.
It kind of speaks to a dichotomy that we'll see echoing throughout his life, the private individual versus the public image, and often a much deeper complexity beneath the surface. For a child actor, that gap can be absolutely immense.
And speaking of deeply complex dynamics, Macaulay was the third of 7 children. His father was Christopher Kit Culkin, a former stage actor himself, and his mother was Patricia Brentrup. Now, their story apparently began when Patricia was a road traffic controller in Sundance, Wyoming, back in '74.
Wow, Sundance. That's quite a unique origin for the parents of a future global superstar.
Isn't it? His siblings include Shane, Dakota, Kieran, Quinn, Christian, and Rory. And as many of you probably know, several of his brothers, particularly Kieran and Rory, also followed him in acting. It really suggests that performing arts were deeply embedded in the family's DNA.
Oh, for sure.
He also had a paternal half-sister, Jennifer Adamson, and his paternal aunt is the esteemed actress Bonnie Bedelia. So clearly, the acting bug ran pretty deep in the Culkin lineage.
Yeah, that family structure is incredibly illuminating. I mean, when you have a parent like Kit, who is a former stage actor, and then multiple children entering the industry, it often suggests a family operating almost like, a small talent agency, doesn't it?
Right.
The children's careers can become so deeply intertwined with the family's aspirations and, crucially, its financial survival. It definitely raises questions about the motivations for entering such a demanding profession so young. Was it purely passion, or was it also, in some ways, kind of an expectation?
That's a crucial distinction.
Yeah.
And what's also vital to grasp, I think, is that despite the whirlwind of glitz and glamour that would soon engulf Macaulay, his early childhood was far from privileged. The family faced significant financial struggles living in this cramped apartment in the Yorkville neighborhood of Manhattan. His mother, Patricia, worked diligently as a telephone operator, while his father, Kit, served as a sacristan at a local Catholic church. For those unfamiliar, a sacristan is essentially like a caretaker of the sacred vessels, vestments, and property within a church. So definitely not a life of luxury or ease during those formative years.
Right.
He was raised Roman Catholic and attended St. Joseph's School of Yorkville for 5 years before making the practical transfer to the Professional Children's School, which is a pretty common move for burgeoning young performers.
Well, this humble, even challenging background provides such a crucial lens through which to view his meteoric rise, don't you think? For many child stars from working-class origins, acting isn't just a creative outlet. It quickly becomes the family business, an immediate and, frankly, potent solution to financial strain. But what are the hidden costs, of placing such a heavy burden on a child's shoulders? Does it subtly blur the lines between genuine passion and maybe a profound sense of obligation, potentially sowing the seeds for later resentment or emotional exhaustion, or even just a deep-seated desire to escape the very thing that brought them success? It adds layers of complexity to his early engagement with fame.
That context of early struggle really amplifies the later revelations about his home life. Let's unpack this because, well, for someone who became such an enormous star so young, his personal life, particularly the relationship with his father, Kit Culkin, was notoriously difficult and, frankly, devastatingly far from the picture of domestic bliss we often saw portrayed on screen in his films.
Yeah.
Macaulay himself described his father as the worst person he's ever known, alleging both physical and mental violence. That's an incredibly potent and heartbreaking statement from anyone, let alone a public figure discussing a parent in such raw terms.
It truly is, and what's particularly poignant, I think, and insightful here is how Macaulay himself connected this alleged abuse to a deeply personal and painful belief. He explicitly stated he thought his father resented his early success. He observed that everything Kit tried to do in his life, Macaulay excelled at before he was 10 years old.
Wow.
I mean, this isn't just a general complaint. It's an articulation of perceived jealousy, right? A father's unfulfilled ambitions projected onto his son's burgeoning fame. This raises an incredibly important and difficult question.
Yeah.
How does such a tumultuous family dynamic, coupled with perceived envy from a parent, fundamentally shape a young person's relationship with their own burgeoning fame and perhaps even their identity? It lays a foundation of deep conflict right at the core of their personal and professional self.
It's a truly profound and disturbing insight into the potential dark underbelly of child stardom. The source material also notes that his parents, Kit Culkin and Patricia Brentrup, never actually married, and their relationship eventually fractured during his early teens. This led to his mother filing for sole custody, a common but often fraught legal process. But the most dramatic and almost unprecedented step Culkin took, a move almost unheard of for someone his age, was the tender age of 14. He took his own parents to court, his objective, to remove their names from his substantial trust fund, which was reportedly worth between, $15 and $20 million at the time, and to hire an independent executor to manage his finances.
15 to 20 million.
Yeah. Think about the sheer scale of that decision for a teenager. A minor initiating legal action against his own parents to gain financial autonomy. It speaks volumes about the severity of the situation and his, desperate need to reclaim control.
That act of profound agency at such a young age is almost unprecedented for a minor, particularly one of his celebrity stature. This wasn't merely about money, though obviously the financial stakes were immense. It was fundamentally about control, wasn't it? About severing ties and protecting himself from those he felt were exploiting or harming him.
Right.
It underscores an extraordinary level of emotional maturity and a powerful drive for self-preservation, forced upon him by truly extraordinary circumstances. It's a powerful statement about reclaiming his life, his resources, and ultimately his future, defining his own boundaries in a way very few could.
And the estrangement that stemmed from that period proved to be long-lasting. In a 2025 interview mentioned in our source, Culkin revealed that he hasn't had contact with his father in over 30 years.
30 years.
That's a stark, almost chilling reflection of the irreparable depth of that rift and the lasting impact of his early experiences. So transitioning from those incredibly difficult and complex personal foundations, let's now trace how this kid from challenging roots actually rose to such spectacular prominence. Macaulay began acting at the remarkably young age of 4.
4.
I know. His earliest roles included a stage production of Bach Babies at the New York Philharmonic, quite an impressive debut for a preschooler, hinting at a precocious talent. He even had an uncredited appearance in the television movie The Midnight Hour in 1985. His first credited screen role came in February 1988 as a co-star in an episode of the action series The Equalizer, where he played a kidnapping victim.
These nascent experiences, even before his major breakthrough, were crucial. They weren't just about getting credits on a resume. They were about providing him with a foundational understanding of the craft, the rhythm of performance, and the demands of both stage and screen. It suggests that his talent wasn't just a sudden accidental burst, but something that was being cultivated and nurtured, albeit within that undeniably complex familial environment. These early roles, even if small, were definitely building blocks.
His film debut followed soon after as Cy Blue Black in the drama Rocky Gibraltar in September 1988. He then played Billy Livingstone in the romantic comedy See You in the Morning in 1989, which featured an impressive cast including Jeff Bridges and Drew Barrymore.
Right.
But it was his role as Miles Russell, starring alongside the legendary John Candy in the comedy film Uncle Buck, also in 1989, that truly started to make audiences and casting directors sit up and take notice.
Oh, Uncle Buck was pivotal. Absolutely. It wasn't just another film. It was the first significant platform where he truly showcased his natural comedic timing and his remarkable ability to hold his own against a seasoned, larger-than-life performer like John Candy.
Yeah, Candy was amazing.
That film offered a tantalizing glimpse into the unique charm, the sheer magnetic presence, and the mischievous wit that would very, very quickly captivate audiences worldwide and turn him into a global phenomenon. It was the perfect warm-up act, really.
It certainly was. And that warm-up act led directly to what would become his defining role, a character etched into cinematic history. Kevin McCallister in the blockbuster comedy Home Alone in 1990. This film was a fortuitous reunion for Culkin, bringing him back with Uncle Buck's writer and director John Hughes, and once again his co-star John Candy, who played the memorable Gus Polinski, the polka band member. The synergy was just undeniable.
Yeah, the brilliance of Home Alone lay in that universal fantasy, a kid left alone, master of his domain, using ingenuity and mischief to overcome challenges. And Culkin's performance as Kevin McCallister was absolutely critical to its success. He embodied that perfect blend of vulnerability, a fierce independence, and that undeniable mischievous wit that made Kevin so endearing, relatable, and utterly iconic.
He really did.
The film tapped into something primal about childhood wishes and fears, and he was the perfect conduit for it.
The impact of Home Alone was nothing short of colossal. It became an absolute blockbuster, cementing its place as a holiday classic and one of the highest-grossing films of its time. For his remarkable performance, Culkin was not only nominated for a Golden Globe Award, but also proudly won an American Comedy Award and a Young Artist Award.
Yeah.
That's incredible recognition and critical acclaim for any actor, let alone a child.
It really is.
Even his co-star, the often intense Joe Pesci, spoke glowingly of him in a 2022 interview with People magazine, praising Culkin as a really sweet kid and, even at his age, very professional. That speaks volumes about his innate talent and disciplined work ethic, even as a very young performer navigating such immense pressure.
It truly is a testament to his innate talent and his remarkable adaptability. I mean, to deliver such a professional, nuanced, and critically acclaimed performance at that age, especially given the turbulent and challenging personal circumstances we just discussed, it highlights an extraordinary level of dedication.
Yeah.
For many child actors, the set can become a form of structured escapism, right? A place where they have control and purpose, which might have been particularly true for Culkin. This kind of early success, however, also sets an incredibly high bar, creating immense pressure for every subsequent role.
Oh, for sure. And his empire was rapidly expanding beyond just film. In 1991, he starred in an animated Saturday morning cartoon series called Wish Kid, further showcasing his appeal across different media and age groups. He also achieved a significant milestone for any actor, let alone a child, by hosting Saturday Night Live.
Hosting SNL, wow.
Yeah. And of course, he appeared in pop superstar Michael Jackson's iconic black or white music video, further cementing his place not just in cinematic culture, but in global pop culture writ large.
Yeah.
He was just ubiquitous.
His omnipresence during this period was simply unprecedented for a child star. He wasn't confined to just blockbuster films. He was across animation, late-night television, groundbreaking music videos, making him a truly pervasive and inescapable cultural figure. This kind of intense, broad exposure while creating immense fame is also a double-edged sword, isn't it?
How so?
Well, it can be incredibly disorienting for a child, blurring the lines between their private self and the, frankly, insatiable public demand for their image.
That makes sense. And the demand for Macaulay Culkin only grew, leading him to take on more diverse roles and, naturally, commanding some truly astronomical paydays. He starred as Thomas J. Sennett in the poignant drama My Girl in 1991, a film that resonated deeply with audiences.
Oh, that kiss.
Exactly, where he famously won Best Kiss at the MTV Movie Awards alongside his co-star, Anna Chlumsky, a memorable pop culture moment for an entire generation. Then came the highly anticipated Home Alone 2, Lost in New York in 1992, for which he received a substantial pay increase, reportedly $4.5 million, up from a relatively modest $110,000 for the original.
$4.5 million for the sequel.
Yeah, that's a massive, almost unheard of jump, and it powerfully illustrates his incredible box office drawing power and the leverage he commanded.
That astronomical increase in pay speaks volumes about the commercial power he had accumulated. He wasn't just a child actor. He was, for a time, a bona fide movie star. capable of single-handedly opening films and guaranteeing massive returns. This level of financial responsibility and industry expectation would have placed immense, almost unbearable pressure on his young shoulders, further complicating his relationship with his work. It's hard to imagine the weight of that at age 12.
No kidding. He also ventured into much darker, more challenging territory, playing the role of Henry in the psychological drama thriller film The Good Son in 1993. This was a deliberate, almost shocking departure from his comedic, family-friendly roles, casting him against type as this chillingly malevolent child.
Right, that was a real shift.
It earned him an MTV Movie Award nomination for Best Villain, signaling his range and perhaps his own desire to break free from the cute kid mold. In the very same year, he showcased another, completely different facet of his talent, appearing in a filmed version of The Nutcracker in the title role. This role highlighted his classical training at the School of American Ballet, revealing a disciplined, elegant, artistic side that very few audiences, accustomed to his slapstick comedies, would have expected.
This period truly illustrates a conscious effort, or at least a guidance, perhaps from his team, to diversify his artistic portfolio, moving beyond a singular beloved archetype into more complex and even unsettling characters. It was an early indication of his broader range as an actor, but also maybe a glimpse into the internal push and pull he might have been experiencing, balancing commercial expectations with a deeper artistic desire to explore and challenge himself. These choices were significant because they showed he wasn't just resting on his laurels, he was actively pushing boundaries.
The early to mid-90s saw him continue this prolific pace, appearing in a flurry of films, including Getting Even with Dad, The Pagemaster, and Richie Rich, all released in 1994. By this point, Macaulay Culkin was firmly established as one of the most successful and recognizable child actors of the entire decade. He was, quite simply, everywhere. However, this relentless whirlwind pace, the intense scrutiny, and the crushing weight of expectation eventually took their inevitable toll.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, his monumental decision to essentially retire at the tender age of 14, explicitly stating he grew tired of acting and wanted to seek a normal life by attending a private high school, while it's incredibly significant, it speaks volumes about the immense, almost suffocating pressures of child stardom, particularly when combined with his challenging family background. This was an act of profound self-preservation, wasn't it? An assertion of agency to reclaim his youth, his privacy, and his identity, especially poignant given the immense financial implications of stepping away from such a lucrative career. It was a clear, deliberate prioritization of personal well-being over professional trajectory, a rare choice for someone at that height of fame.
Absolutely. The source explicitly states he grew tired of acting and retired after Richie Rich. That incredibly brave decision to step away from the absolute zenith of his child acting career really underscores the overwhelming and potentially damaging nature of his fame. We even see a subtle hint of his developing alternative interest just a few years later, in 1998, when he appeared in the music video for the song Sunday by the iconic rock band Sonic Youth.
Sonic Youth? That's quite a shift.
Right, this was a far cry from the big-budget Hollywood productions, already signaling a shift towards more indie and alternative artistic expressions. So after this incredibly public and yet profoundly personal decision to retreat from the glaring spotlight, Macaulay Culkin embarked on this long period of reinvention, a measured and often unconventional return to acting that truly began to redefine his public image in the 2000s. He initially returned to acting in 2000, not on the grand Hollywood screen, but on the stage, taking a role in the play Madame Melville, which was staged in London's West End.
Right, the West End.
This was a subtle but incredibly significant way to re-engage with his craft, away from the immediate, overwhelming glare of Hollywood.
And what's particularly fascinating here is that choice of medium. Many actors who experience early intense fame find a return to theater incredibly therapeutic. It allows them to hone their skills, reconnect with the raw act of performance, and redisplay their talent away from the intense scrutiny and commercial pressures of film. It's a classic move for rediscovery, really, offering a more controlled and artistically focused environment. It shows a genuine commitment to acting as an art, not just a career.
Exactly. And then in early 2003, he made a critically acclaimed guest appearance on the hugely popular NBC sitcom Will and Grace. He played Karen Walker's deceptively immature divorce lawyer.
Oh, I remember that. He was great.
He was. It won him favorable reviews and showcased a sophisticated comedic timing that, frankly, hadn't been fully appreciated or perhaps fully developed in his earlier work.
Right.
It's a delightful surprise for many who only knew him as Kevin McCallister.
That Will and Grace role was pivotal. It wasn't just a cameo, it allowed him to deliver a genuinely nuanced, adult comedic performance that was sharp and precise. It clearly demonstrated that he hadn't just matured physically, but also artistically. He was starting to actively challenge the public's singular image of him and proving his range beyond his child star persona. It was a quiet but powerful statement about his capabilities.
He then truly began to shatter that family-friendly image on screen with some incredibly stark and challenging roles. In 2003, he starred in Party Monster, playing the notorious New York party promoter Michael A. Legg, a character who was a drug user and ultimately a murderer.
Wow, yeah. Party Monster was someone else.
A stark, almost shocking contrast to the wholesome, family-friendly roles he was famous for. He quickly followed that with a powerful supporting part in Saved, in 2004, playing a cynical, wheelchair-using, non-Christian student in a conservative Christian high school. While Saved only achieved modest box office success, Culkin garnered widespread positive reviews for his role. Critics saw it as a strong indication of his significant potential as a compelling adult actor.
These choices were definitely not accidental. They were deliberate acts of artistic reinvention. By actively seeking out and embracing such dark, complex, and even controversial characters, he was making a clear, unequivocal statement that he was not just willing but eager to shed his child star persona. These roles allowed him to explore a completely different kind of performance, demonstrating a depth and a gravitas that had previously been overshadowed by his early fame and truly broadening perceptions of his capabilities.
Beyond live action, Culkin also ventured into voiceover work, making appearances in Seth Green's popular adult animated show Robot Chicken. This period of rediscovery and image shifting also saw him receive continued pop culture recognition, reminding audiences of his enduring legacy. In 2005, he was ranked second on VH1's list of the 100 greatest kid stars, right behind Gary Coleman.
Right, Gary Coleman.
A testament to the indelible mark his early career had left.
Well, the fact that he was still included so prominently on that list, even as he was actively, almost aggressively, reshaping his image, highlights the enduring power and the specific challenge of child stardom, doesn't it? It's a delicate balance for an actor who wants to move forward and establish an adult career while acknowledging a past that is so deeply ingrained in public memory. He couldn't escape it entirely, but he could certainly redefine how he interacted with it.
In 2006, he even ventured into literary endeavors, publishing an experimental, semi-autobiographical novel titled Junior. The book delved deeply into his experiences with stardom and, perhaps unsurprisingly given what we've discussed, his strained and tumultuous relationship with his father.
The novel Junior.
This was another way he sought to process and articulate his unique journey. He then starred in Sex and Breakfast in 2007, a dark comedy about group sex, further cementing his resolute move into more adult and unconventional projects. He also had a notable role in the 13-episode NBC television series Kings in 2009.
You know, his foray into writing, particularly a semi-autobiographical novel, offers such a unique and intimate window into his internal world. It provides an alternative outlet for processing the often overwhelming experiences of his life. It underscores his profound desire to control his own narrative and engage with his past on his own terms, rather than having it perpetually defined by others. It's an intellectual and creative reclaiming, really.
And just when you might think you've got a handle on his artistic trajectory, he throws in some truly quirky and self-aware cameos. In 2009, he appeared in a UK-based commercial for Aviva Insurance, delivering the instantly memorable, almost wistful line, "Remember me."
Remember me. Brilliant.
It was a brilliant meta-commentary on his own public image, and in an absolutely unexpected, delightfully random moment, he made a brief cameo appearance on WWE Raw on August 17, 2009, following a Falls Count Anywhere match. The gag brilliantly referenced a classic Home Alone booby trap with a swinging paint can.
No way. The paint can.
Yes, and Culkin appeared in the doorway simply saying, "That's not funny." It was a moment of self-aware, playful humor that really charmed audiences and showed a newfound comfort with his own iconic past.
These appearances are fascinating because they demonstrate a growing comfort with his past and a willingness to engage with his iconic image on his own terms, often with a subtle yet effective sense of playful irony. It marks a significant shift from earlier attempts to completely distance himself from Kevin McCallister, suggesting he was finding a way to integrate that famous persona into his adult identity without being confined by it. He was now in on the joke, not just the subject of it.
Moving into the 2010s, we see Macaulay Culkin's professional expansion take even more unique and overtly artistic turns.
Yeah.
In February 2010, he appeared in an episode of Poppy de Villeneuve's online series for the New York Times called The Park, signaling an engagement with contemporary, more experimental media. Then, on March 7th of the same year, he participated in a touching and highly publicized tribute to the late director John Hughes at the Oscars.
You're right, the Hughes tribute.
Alongside other iconic actors whose careers Hughes had launched, like Matthew Broderick, Molly Ringwald, and Drew Barrymore.
Those projects, particularly the online series and the Oscar tribute, showcase him re-engaging with the industry in a much more curated, less commercially driven way. It doesn't feel like a pursuit of blockbuster fame. It feels more like a genuine appreciation for the craft itself, the artistic community, and acknowledging the profound impact Hughes had on his early career. It's a very discerning approach to public engagement.
That's a great observation. He also fully embraced experimental film collaborations. In April 2011, he was featured in musician Adam Green's experimental film The Wrong Ferrari, which, incredibly, was entirely shot on an iPhone.
An iPhone movie back in 2011.
Yeah, pushing the boundaries of independent filmmaking. In the same month, he appeared in a music video for Stamp Your Name on It, performed by Green's former bandmate, Jack Dishalonley's son. And then in September 2012, further demonstrating his diverse artistic passions, he appeared in a YouTube video explaining how he had personally transformed his apartment in New York into a vibrant painting workshop.
The iPhone film and the dedicated painting workshop are vivid illustrations of an artist truly exploring different creative outlets, completely unbound by traditional Hollywood expectations or the pressures of mainstream success. This highlights a period of genuine artistic exploration, moving away from conventional commercial endeavors and delving into more personal, experimental, and self-directed artistic pursuits. It's really about creative freedom over commercial viability, I think.
So what does this all mean? From child star to critically lauded actor to painting to a pizza-themed comedy rock band. This is, without a doubt, quite the pivot, isn't it? A testament to his wonderfully idiosyncratic nature.
Pizza-themed band. Okay, tell me more.
In December 2013, a viral video featuring Culkin eating a cheese pizza captivated the internet. This was actually a deliberate, clever parody of Andy Warhol consuming a Burger King Whopper in Jürgen Left's documentary 66 Scenes from America.
Ah, the Warhol connection.
Exactly. And it was specifically designed to promote the debut of his New York-based pizza-themed comedy rock band, the Pizza Underground.
The Pizza Underground. It's a perfect encapsulation of his unique, almost performance art approach to celebrity, isn't it? It wasn't about conventional mainstream musical success. It was about satire, about embracing the absurd and indulging a very specific, quirky artistic interest. It stands in direct, stark contrast to the carefully managed, pristine image of his child star days, asserting a complete autonomy over his creative output, no matter how unconventional. It's almost a deliberate act of playful defiance against expectation.
Their highly anticipated tour began in Brooklyn on January 24, 2014. But the Pizza Underground's journey wasn't without its colorful incidents, shall we say.
Oh, I bet.
In late May 2014, Culkin famously stormed off stage at Rock City in Nottingham during a kazoo solo after some fans began booing and rather aggressively throwing pints of beer at the band.
Beer during a kazoo solo? That's rough.
Right. Following this incident, they subsequently canceled their remaining UK shows, though they maintained the cancellation had nothing to do with the Rock City performance. Ultimately, on July 10, 2016, Culkin announced that the Pizza Underground was officially splitting up, stating that their next album would be their last.
You know, the Rock City incident, while perhaps professionally embarrassing for many, actually kind of reinforces the avant-garde, almost anarchotic nature of the entire project. It wasn't designed for universal appeal or a smooth commercial trajectory. It was meant to be a bit provocative, a bit absurd. The audience's reaction, in a peculiar way, almost validated its experimental and challenging spirit. It's another example of him steadfastly refusing to conform to typical expectations of a celebrity or a musician. He truly marched to the beat of his own drum, or perhaps the kazoo of his own band.
Oh, nicely put. Beyond the musical escapades, Culkin also bravely ventured into satire and new media, embracing his role as a public figure to comment on celebrity culture itself. In July 2016, he appeared in a television advertisement for Compare the Market, another self-aware commercial turn. Then, in January 2018, he launched a comedy website and podcast called Bunny Ears.
Bunny Ears, yes.
Which hilariously and incisively parodied other celebrity-owned lifestyle sites, notably Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop. He became the publisher and CEO, showcasing his entrepreneurial spirit and sharp, satirical wit. Since 2018, he's also been a frequent guest of the popular online film review channel Red Letter Media, appearing in multiple episodes of their web series like Best of the Worst and Angry Video Game Nerd, often appearing as a playful, self-deprecating parody of himself.
Funny Years is such a brilliant meta example of him taking complete control of his narrative and engaging with the often absurd world of celebrity culture entirely on his own terms. Instead of shying away from the inherent ridiculousness or the manufactured nature of fame, he embraces it through intelligent satire, using his unique position and platform to comment on it. It's a very sophisticated form of engagement, showcasing a deep understanding of media and public perception.
And then came perhaps the most iconic and certainly the most warmly received reprise of his entire career. In a truly brilliant advertisement for Google Assistant, which was published on December 19, 2018, Culkin reprised his Home Alone role as Kevin McCallister after a remarkable 28 years.
Oh, that ad was genius.
He was a masterstroke, meticulously recreating famous beloved scenes from the original movie McCallister, shaving his face, exuberantly jumping on the bed, and decorating the Christmas tree, all while humorously interacting with the Google Assistant.
Yeah, this specific advertisement raises such an important question about how celebrities can and perhaps should engage with their iconic past. It wasn't just a simple nostalgic callback, it was a clever, self-aware acknowledgement of his most famous role, updated with modern technology, showing a comfort and an inherent self-awareness that wasn't always present in his earlier, more guarded returns to the public eye. It genuinely felt like he was in on the joke, inviting us, the audience, to share in the nostalgia without being confined by it, truly leveraging his legacy in a fresh way.
It really did feel like a beautiful full-circle moment, handled with a surprising amount of grace, humor, and even affection for his past. Finally, in 2019, he had a role in his close friend Seth Green's directorial debut, Changeland, which was released on June 7, 2019. This film would prove significant not just professionally, but personally, as it was on this set that he met his future wife, Brenda Song.
Ah, Changeland. So that's where they met. A truly full-circle moment indeed. Professional collaboration leading to personal connection.
As we transition into the 2020s, Macaulay Culkin's career truly enters a resurgent, critically acclaimed phase, solidifying his place, not just as a former child star, but as a respected, nuanced adult actor, cementing his enduring legacy. A major highlight and a pivotal moment in this phase was his starring role in the 10th season of the immensely popular anthology series, American Horror Story, double feature, which aired in 2021.
Right, American Horror Story. His performance in that received widespread critical praise. This was more than just another role. It was a pivotal moment that unequivocally showcased his depth and versatility as an adult actor. It served as undeniable proof of his capability for nuanced, complex, and highly acclaimed performances within a serious dramatic context.
Yeah, he was fantastic in it.
It fully and quite convincingly dismantled any lingering public perceptions of him as solely a child star, establishing him as a compelling dramatic presence in his own right.
It was a powerful and unequivocal statement of his artistic maturity and his undeniable talent. And then, in a truly beautiful, symbolic full-circle moment that encapsulated his entire extraordinary journey and his hard-earned acceptance within the industry, Macaulay Culkin received a star on the prestigious Hollywood Walk of Fame on December 1st, 2023.
The Walk of Fame star. That really signifies a profound and comprehensive acceptance and recognition of his entire unconventional career arc, doesn't it?
It really does. This wasn't just an award, it was a profound industry embrace.
And the fact that his Home Alone co-star, Catherine O'Hara, and his Party Monster co-star, Natasha Lyonne, were both in attendance and gave deeply personal speeches in his honor. Well, that connects the vastly different phases of his life and career beautifully. It demonstrates the widespread respect and genuine affection he has earned from his peers across diverse genres, acknowledging his journey from child phenomenon to adult artist. It's a powerful validation of his unique, self-determined path.
Beyond the professional accolades and his carefully curated public performances, Macaulay Culkin has largely maintained a relatively private personal life, often refraining from disclosing intimate details. However, he has consistently been willing to discuss and open up about the profound experiences that shaped him specifically. His tumultuous childhood as a child actor, the intense conflicts within his family, particularly his deeply entrenched estrangement from his father, and his pivotal, life-altering decision to retire from acting at age 14.
Right.
These are the specific, impactful areas he has chosen to open up about, offering us valuable glimpses into the man behind the roles and the forces that shaped him.
Well, this selective transparency is a very conscious and calculated choice, I think. It allows him to address and process the profound experiences that are absolutely integral to understanding his public persona and his trajectory, while still maintaining essential boundaries around the more intimate, personal aspects of his life. It speaks to a conscious and persistent effort to control his own narrative and to define what he shares, rather than allowing the media or public speculation to dictate it entirely. He draws a clear line between what he considers public domain and what remains intensely personal.
He currently resides in the picturesque Toluca Lake neighborhood of Los Angeles in an estate that was formerly owned by Kiefer Sutherland, a neat little Hollywood connection there.
Oh, interesting.
Now, like many public figures, his path hasn't been entirely without its legal troubles. On September 17, 2004, he was arrested in Oklahoma City for the possession of marijuana and 2 controlled substances, specifically alprazolam, commonly known as Xanax, and clonazepam, also known as Klonopin. He was briefly jailed following the arrest and subsequently released on $4,000 bail.
You know, this period, particularly during his early adult years, highlights the very real personal challenges he faced away from the structured, often protective environment of a film set. It serves as a stark reminder of the immense difficulties many individuals, especially those who experience early, overwhelming fame, encounter when navigating the complexities of adulthood, personal struggles, and public scrutiny simultaneously. It's a very human moment in a life that was often depicted as larger than life, underscoring the universal challenges of self-management and coping mechanisms.
The legal outcome of that incident saw him initially pleading not guilty to the misdemeanor drug offenses, but he later reversed that plea to guilty. He received 3 one-year suspended prison sentences and was ordered to pay $540 in fees. Moving on to his relationships, Culkin married actress Rachel Miner in 1998 when they were both just 18 years old.
18, wow, so young.
Yeah, a very young marriage for 2 individuals who had already experienced so much. They separated in 2000 and officially divorced in 2002.
A marriage at 18 for anyone is a significant formative step, but for 2 young actors who had both experienced the relentless glare of the spotlight from a tender age, well, it adds another intense layer of complexity. The pressures of growing up in the public eye, managing independent careers, and forming an adult identity are immense, and the separation and divorce at such a young age speak volumes about the unique challenges they likely faced in that environment. It's a very early, very public lesson in the difficulties of balancing personal life with extraordinary professional demands.
Following his divorce, he entered into a long-term, high-profile relationship with actress Mila Kunis, which lasted from 2002 to 2010. That was a widely recognized partnership.
Right, I remember that.
More recently, in 2017, Culkin started dating his Changeland co-star, Brenda Song, having met while working on that film. Their first child, a son named Dakota, was born on April 5, 2021. This was a poignant tribute, as Dakota was also the name of his late sister.
Oh, wow. Dakota, that's lovely.
Yeah. They then welcomed their second son in December 2022, marking a new, stable chapter in his personal life.
His transition into fatherhood with Brenda Song marks a profoundly significant personal milestone, doesn't it? Signaling a period of newfound stability and purpose. And the choice to name their first son Dakota, in a touching tribute to his late sister, also offers a glimpse into his personal values and the enduring importance of family, even amidst past conflict. It suggests a very grounded and meaningful new phase in his life.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting and, a bit complicated, because while his relationships are often private, some comments he made stirred a significant and important public conversation. Shortly after their first son's birth, comments Culkin made on a 2018 episode of the Joe Rogan Experience podcast resurfaced.
Ah, the Rogan interview.
Yes. These comments, made about his relationship with Brenda Song, who is Hmong Thai American, were criticized for potentially perpetuating stereotypes about Asians. In the interview, he jokingly discussed the shape of Song's eyes, their interracial relationship, and the hypothetical appearance of their potential future children. He then argued that he felt entitled to make Asian jokes because of his relationship with Song and because of his future fatherhood to multiracial children, stating he believed he would, in his words, understand the struggle.
Right. Well, this moment, as captured in the source, raises important questions about how public figures navigate humor, cultural sensitivity, and the complexities of personal identity, particularly when their private relationships become fodder for public discussion and commentary. It highlights the often challenging tightrope walk public figures face in an age of instant and widespread scrutiny, where intentions can be easily misconstrued and historical context matters deeply. For us as listeners, it forces a moment of critical thinking about how we interpret such statements, the impact of language, and the evolving landscape of cultural dialogue. without endorsing or condemning the comments themselves, but simply reporting what the source makes clear.
Shifting to his enduring and profoundly significant friendships, one of the most notable was undoubtedly with the legendary pop superstar Michael Jackson. Around the time of the first Home Alone movie, Culkin became friends with Jackson, a friendship that quickly became one of the most scrutinized aspects of his personal life, drawing immense public attention and speculation. He even famously appeared in Jackson's iconic 1991 black or white music video.
Yeah, that friendship was undeniably one of the most intense focal points of public curiosity and speculation surrounding his personal life. It drew immense media attention, particularly given Michael Jackson's unique public image and, well, the controversies that later surrounded him. It's a testament to the powerful yet often challenging bonds that can form in the rarefied air of extreme celebrity.
This particular friendship truly goes to show the depth of his personal relationships and the unwavering loyalty he maintained, even in the face of truly immense public scrutiny and swirling controversy. In 2005, during Jackson's high-profile trial for sexual child abuse, Culkin testified under oath, unequivocally stating that he had slept in bed with Jackson but was never molested, dismissing the allegations against Jackson as absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous.
He continued to stand by Jackson steadfastly, attending his burial on September 30, 2009, and remains the godfather to Jackson's children, Paris, Prince, and Michael Jr. Consistently defending Jackson, he reiterated his stance in a 2020 Esquire interview, stating with unwavering conviction, "I never saw anything, he never did anything."
His steadfast defense of Michael Jackson, despite the enormous public pressure, the relentless media storm, and widespread controversy, it speaks to an almost unwavering loyalty and a deep personal connection that he clearly valued immensely. It reflects a very personal code of conduct, where he prioritized his own lived experience and the bond of friendship over public opinion, which in itself is a remarkable act of conviction when under such a spotlight. It highlights a profound independence of thought and a deep personal commitment.
Another close and enduring friendship he maintains is with fellow actor and creative collaborator Seth Green. They famously co-starred in the challenging film Party Monster, as well as in Green's 2019 directorial debut Changeland, and have frequently collaborated on episodes of Green's adult animated sitcom Robot Chicken.
Seth Green, yeah.
This long-standing collaboration highlights a deep bond built not just on sheer personal connection, but also on mutual creative interests and artistic respect, providing a stable anchor in his often turbulent career.
You know, these enduring friendships are more than just casual acquaintances. They are a crucial grounding force in a world as transient and demanding as Hollywood. Stable, long-term relationships provide continuity, emotional support, and a sense of normalcy, especially for someone who has navigated such an unconventional and intensely public path. They serve as a crucial touchstone amidst the shifting sands of fame.
Now, for perhaps one of the most quirky and certainly one of the most delightfully self-aware moments in his personal history,
Yeah.
the official name change.
Oh, this is good.
In December 2018, Macaulay Culkin made a playful but definitive announcement. He would legally change his middle name to Macaulay Culkin after holding a public vote on his website for a new middle name. Macaulay Culkin overwhelmingly won over 4 other candidates in a brilliant act of meta-humor.
He let the internet choose his middle name, and they chose Macaulay Culkin.
They did. He then announced in April 2019 that the legal name change process had been fully completed.
Yeah.
So for the record, his full legal name is now the unforgettable Macaulay Culkin.
So what does this all truly mean? Talk about embracing your identity, or perhaps delivering a masterful, playful poke at the very idea of identity in the public eye. It's an act of profound, self-referential humor, a complete and total reclaiming of his most famous identifier, taking ownership of the name that launched him to global stardom and then doubling down on it.
Right.
It showcases an extraordinary level of self-acceptance, wit, and playful defiance that few celebrities could ever pull off. It's almost an ingenious piece of performance art in itself, a final, definitive statement on who he is on his own terms.
It's an absolutely unforgettable statement, truly a unique act of personal branding, that's for sure.
Yep.
And finally, on his 40th birthday in August 2020, he had a viral moment that perfectly encapsulates his self-aware, wry, and humorous personality that has so endeared him to the public in recent years. He simply tweeted, "Hey guys, want to feel old? I'm 40. You're welcome."
Ah, yes, I remember that tweet.
This simple, brilliant, and perfectly timed tweet became one of the most liked tweets of all time, peaking at number 9 globally. It was a moment of collective internet joy, recognition, and affectionate amusement for a truly unique and enduring public figure who has consistently defied expectations. What an extraordinary and winding arc we've had the privilege of covering today, detailing the truly multifaceted life of Macaulay Culkin. From a prodigious child star and undeniable box office king, through a brave and deliberate withdrawal from the public eye, a series of truly unconventional and often delightfully quirky career choices. From founding a pizza rock band to launching a satirical website, navigating significant personal struggles, and ultimately culminating in a critically acclaimed return to acting and a well-deserved place of honor on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
His story is a powerful, inspiring testament to his unwavering agency and navigating the immense pressures of fame and deliberately forging a unique, self-determined path, always on his own terms.
His journey is far more than just another celebrity narrative, isn't it? It's a profound masterclass in resilience, reinvention, and reclaiming one's narrative, especially after such an unconventional, intensely scrutinized, and often turbulent start. His remarkable ability to define his own terms, whether through a satirical website, a quirky band, or a celebrated dramatic role, offers a fascinating and powerful lesson in authenticity and self-preservation.
Really?
He didn't merely survive child stardom. He redefined what it means to grow up in its long shadow and emerge not just intact, but as a truly unique, self-actualized individual who has fully embraced every layer of his identity.
Absolutely. Macaulay Culkin's life story is a powerful, almost instructional masterclass in evolving beyond the singular image the world has of you, demonstrating the profound courage it takes to continually redefine yourself. It makes you wonder, if given the chance, what part of your past would you choose to playfully revisit, completely reinvent, or perhaps in a moment of sheer audacious self-definition, legally rename?
A truly thought-provoking question, one that resonates deeply when you consider the profound and often surprising journey of someone like Macaulay Culkin and the endless possibilities of personal evolution.
That's all for this deep dive. We hope you've enjoyed unpacking the extraordinary layers of this fascinating individual with us. Until next time.